NAIT's food bank is looking for donations as the usage by students has went up this year.
Big need for any canned fruit items and any dairy milk products, so skim milk, powdered milk, evaporated milk, any of that.
Edmontonians witnessed the largest experiment in our city at Tell Us World of Science this past week.
Also a nice collaboration here between all of the guests.
Ooks women's soccer heads to nationals in hopes of bringing home a national title.
Hello and welcome to Second Edition News. A growing number of students are turning to the food bank for support.
With the downturn in the economy, officials say there's an increase in students accessing the service, including here at NAIT. NAIT's food service gives out food hampers to students on a daily basis. Officials say as more students become aware of the service and the economy continues to downturn, the need for donations becomes greater.
So of course we'll accept any variety of items, all non-perishable of course, but we do have a big need for any canned fruit items and any dairy milk products, so skim milk, powdered milk, evaporated milk, any of that non-perishable dairy product.
NAIT's Food Center receives most of its donations from staff and students. Officials say a large amount of the donations actually come from students who have previously used the service and want to give back to others in need.
NAIT is using a dramatic approach to help students get over the stigma of mental health. The play being shown across campus demonstrates how one woman battles with the struggles of mental health. As an initiative by NAIT, they hope to focus on the well-being of students and create more self-awareness. Flynn, NAIT's therapy dog, was also on hand.
This type of illness can strike anybody at any time, and they can work their way through it. And I'm just trying to put the human aspect on it so that if somebody has a mental illness, you get a sense of you've seen somebody going through the whole journey. And so it makes it a little bit more real.
NAIT is also offering a 2-day mental health first aid program for students free of charge.
As former NAIT's President Alana Warble steps down, new and old faces step up to fill her shoes. Former VP academic and fourth-year business student John Prozek was appointed as interim president while the by-election took place. John also ran to keep his interim position for good and had a successful campaign that landed him the presidency.
The first thing was my experience. I've been the vice president academic currently, so I had the experience. I know what NAITSA is and what they do, and I've been immersed in the role already.
Prozek also mentions that balancing schoolwork and presidential duties is a tough task, but that his responsibilities to NAIT take priority. The voting period ran from Friday, November 4th until Wednesday, November 9th, and because Prozek was voted in, another by-election will be held to replace his position as VP academic.
A celebration at City Hall this week recognizing the contributions, achievements, and history of the Métis Nation in our province.
We are proud to be Métis, let a nation rise again.
The Métis flag was raised during the ceremony and will fly outside City Hall during Métis Week, which runs until November 19th. Officials say the flag is a symbolic way to recognize the important role Métis people have played.
Learning from others, but others learning from us so that we all can live and grow together. And that's what I mean when I spoke in my speech about fairness and equality for all.
The Métis people have a deeply rooted heritage here in Alberta, dating back to the late 1700s.
The largest science experiment ever in Edmonton went off with a huge bang. It was raining ping pong balls as hundreds of spectators lined the sidewalk outside the Tell Us World of Science to watch the liquid nitrogen-fueled explosion. The experiment this past weekend was part of the first International Science Center and Science Museum Day. Spectators were also encouraged to write messages on the balls to spread the love of science.
What's great about the ping pong balls, there was 1,500 of them. So obviously you're not finding your message, your ping pong ball, you're finding someone else's message. So it was also a nice collaboration here between all of the guests.
After the explosion, kids flooded into the street to quickly gather up the ping pong balls. The Tell Us World of Science is already planning next year's event.
The animals at the Valley Zoo were shown some extra kindness on the weekend. Many families spent Sunday at the zoo celebrating World Kindness Day. The special day is celebrated all over the world as a way to highlight good deeds in the community. At the zoo, the focus on Sunday was about treating animals and our earth with kindness.
So being kind to not just people but to the planet as a whole, and so being kind to animals, and with our events that we have here, for example, we have a craft made out of recycled cardboard where kids are creating a little cardboard dove, and it's all reused cardboard.
With the addition of some sunshine and warm weather, the first annual Kindness Day at the zoo was a huge success, and staff say it will more than likely take place again next year. Definitely wasn't all sunshine and warm weather for the Briarcrest Clippers.
I heard the Ooks men's hockey team really brought their A game this past weekend.
Well, ladies, you're not wrong. Let's take a look at the world of sports from this past week. NAIT's men's hockey team is rolling as they find themselves on a 4-game win streak and sitting atop the ACAC standings. Opposite ends of the spectrum faced off Saturday in ACAC men's hockey as the top seed Ooks in the blue take on the basement-dwelling Briarcrest Clippers in yellow. A minute into the opening frame, home side Ooks find themselves down a man and give the Clippers a man advantage. The Clippers nearly capitalize on the ensuing power play. A heavy point shot misses wide, bounces out front. Thomas Freeman reacts, trying to jam it home. The puck appears to be sliding in, but defenseman Brett McGee bails out goaltender Nathan Park. Heading into the game, you would have assumed a dominant performance from the NAIT Ooks, and that's exactly what the home crowd got, with the Ooks putting up 12 goals to the Clippers 3 and improving their league-leading record to 11-3. 5 Ooks picked up 2 goals on the afternoon. Jason Wark and Macklin Pachonsky led the way with 5 points each. Pachonsky, the eventual player of the game. Here's what head coach Tim Fregel had to say about Pachonsky's performance.
Yeah, exceptional game from him today. He's activating on any cycle play, any backside play, and he can find that quiet area and definitely stepped up offensively today. It was good to see.
The NAIT Ooks women's volleyball team looked to take down one of ACAC's top teams, TKU, this past weekend. Picking up in the first set with set point for the Kings, where the Ooks stay on the defensive, but can't seem to come away with the point to keep it going, dropping in the opening leg 25-13. The Ooks would then drop the second set to the Kings. Trying to regroup for the third, the Ooks get in the face of the Kings and end up winning the third set in dramatic and close fashion. Unfortunately, that's all the Ooks could muster up in this contest, dropping the fourth set, giving away a few points to TKU. The Ooks sit in 4th place in the north of the ACAC, while TKU finds themselves in 2nd. The NAIT Ooks women's soccer team headed to nationals for the 2nd straight year after coming off another ACAC championship. For the 3rd straight season and 5th time in 6 years, the NAIT Ooks women's soccer club rained down in the ACAC conference and head to nationals, where they placed 4th in a very strong pool of teams. The girls headed into the bronze medal game against Douglas, where they found themselves down a goal after the first half. Kaylee Mon would eventually knot things up in the 55th minute. The two teams played 2 extra 15-minute halves that solved nothing. Douglas took advantage in penalty kicks and kept it, taking down the ACAC champions and capturing the bronze medal. Garneau's national experience was fantastic as they would three-peat. The Edmonton Eskimos are coming off a thrilling East semifinal win over the Hamilton Tiger Cats, setting themselves up for a meeting against the Ottawa Red Blacks in the Eastern Conference Final. The Eskimos led majority of the contest, but the Hamilton Tiger Cats mounted a 15-point comeback in the second half. The Eskimos rallied back, scoring a late field goal to regain the lead and held off for the dying seconds of the game. Eskimos quarterback Mike Riley suffered a wrist injury in the final quarter and did not return, but is expected to be back for the conference final to lead the green and gold. The Eskimos head into the Eastern Final on Sunday in a matchup against the top seed Ottawa Red Blacks, who got a bye through the first round. The two sides met twice this regular season, Ottawa coming out on top in both. The winner advances to the 104th Grey Cup. It's great to see the Eskimos a win away from going to the Grey Cup for their 2nd consecutive season.
It absolutely is. I wouldn't mind throwing a little Grey Cup party.
Sounds fun. Thanks, Taylor. That's a look at the world of sports and more. This has been 2nd Edition News. Thanks for watching.